EV enthusiasts, get ready to celebrate. A groundbreaking shift in battery technology is on the horizon, and it's called Nano Flow Cells. These revolutionary cells outshine traditional batteries with superior performance, cheaper materials, and a reliance on liquid electrolytes. But here's the real game changer: unlike regular batteries, these won't need recharging. Instead, they'll be refueled, much like gas-powered cars. That means the dreaded charging times could soon be a thing of the past. Hey, if you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. So, what exactly are nanoflow cells? Well, they're not your typical batteries. Think of them as flow batteries, where two specialized liquids flow side by side to generate power. The magic lies in the nanomaterials within the electrolyte solutions, which give these cells a unique edge. These nanomaterials supercharge chemical reactions, boosting the performance of nanoflow cells and offering a clear upgrade over traditional lithium-ion batteries. And trust me, there's more to love about them. These two liquids are separated by a thin membrane and are stored in two separate tanks until they're called to use. They interact in a specifically designed cell that is called a reaction chamber, where both liquid electrolytes get pumped into from their respective tanks. When the electrolytes pass through the reaction chamber, they are separated by an ion exchange membrane, which allows certain ions to pass through while preventing any mixing of the two electrolytes. That ion movement is what completes the electrical circuit, allowing the electrons to flow from the anode to the cathode through an external circuit, creating an electric current that would then be used to power the electric vehicle it is fitted to. So with all of that in mind, it's time for us to tackle the improvements over regular batteries used today. Nanoflow cells harness countless advantages over lithium-ion batteries, most of which promise to eliminate the key issues not just of lithium-ion batteries but of batteries in general. Compared to lithium-ion batteries, nanoflow cells cannot catch fire and are made from non-toxic materials, two of the biggest safety and ecological concerns people have for lithium-ion batteries. In addition to that, they also have a potentially greater energy density, which in turn allows them to offer a greater range than regular lithium-ion batteries in use today. Because these batteries don't use lithium or cobalt, they are far more ecologically viable than any other battery type on offer, including sodium-ion batteries. Since they don't use rare earth materials for their production, their price, when scaled, is also significantly lower than that of lithium-ion batteries, and the production output is potentially higher. Not to mention, the lack of rare earth materials also means that these batteries are highly sustainable, as we won't be using materials that can deplete, unlike lithium, which is already under a huge question mark. Oh, and we've previously mentioned energy density. Since nanoflow cells utilize nanomaterials in the liquid electrolytes that enhance chemical reactions, we can expect a far greater amount of energy to be stored in a smaller volume. This means we can expect both a far lower overall weight of the vehicle using nanoflow cells as well as greater ranges. And even once you're out of power, you can recharge, or to be more precise, refuel your vehicle in a matter of minutes. One of the most prominent benefits of using electrolyte refueling is the possibility of changing out the electrolyte liquid. This would require draining out the spent electrolyte solvent and replacing it with a fresh one. In addition to that, recharging the electrolyte liquid is also possible. To discharge the nanoflow cells, the stored chemical energy in the electrolytes is converted into electrical energy through redox reactions. Once the electrolytes lose their charge, they are recharged through an external power source, which drives electrons back into the system, allowing the spent electrolytes to be restored to their charged state and used again, essentially making them far more long-lasting than regular lithium-ion batteries. However, this isn't even the biggest benefit, oh no. The biggest benefit is the fact that domestic production is now possible. One of the biggest downfalls of lithium-ion batteries, and the key reason for developing a replacement for them, is the fact that it is extremely complex to make. This means that only a few companies in the world specialize in making lithium-ion batteries, and so, the lithium that is mined and excavated throughout the world needs to travel to the battery production locations, which both drives up the cost of the batteries and results in even higher pollution. But with the introduction of nanocells, production can be made practically everywhere. This is incredible news for companies that intend on starting their vehicle production but are limited by the fact that they need to buy batteries from various companies instead of making their own, which both increases their costs as well as the price of the finalized product. First, currently this technology is vastly more expensive than lithium-ion batteries. This is Of course, because the technology is still in its infancy and requires far larger use and development before it can reach the potentially low price tag that is being practically advertised nowadays. In addition, the infrastructure itself is very problematic, to say the least. You see, our automotive infrastructure has been practically built for gasoline vehicles and has been partially adapted for EVs, and even they have minor struggles from time to time, despite a 10-year push for infrastructure development. Furthermore, despite nanocells being simpler than lithium-ion batteries, the entire system itself isn't. You see, you'll have to use highly complex pumping systems, which will be more prone to failure compared to lithium-ion batteries. Now sure, this means that they will also be easier to replace and fix, as well as cheaper, because they will be electromechanical contraptions. However, that still doesn't mitigate the problem of these vehicles being practically less reliable than regular EVs. In addition to that, these pumping systems, as well as the twin-tank system, mean that the entire nanocell system will be far more cumbersome than lithium-ion batteries. Now sure, with time this weight will drop as more compact and sophisticated systems are developed. However, currently, this is a very prominent issue, especially for smaller EVs. Another big problem is the fact that you won't be off the grid, per se. Yes, refueling a vehicle will be practically grid-free and therefore pollution-free. However, recharging the electrolytes will still require an external grid-based source, which means there are virtually no ecological benefits from driving these vehicles compared to lithium-ion BEVs. Finally, and most importantly, current vehicles are fundamentally incompatible with nanoflow cells. This is because, as we've mentioned, these systems are larger and more cumbersome than regular EV batteries, which require significant design changes. This means that vehicles will need to grow larger for them to be successfully fitted with systems like these, and that is the last thing we need right now, with cars getting bigger and the streets getting more and more crowded. As a result, if you're looking for a good replacement for lithium-ion batteries, nanocells still have a long way to go before they become a viable solution. Instead of them, we'd like to point you straight to hydrogen, as despite its initial setbacks, hydrogen is starting to gain some traction nowadays. The biggest news is the fact that last week, Toyota and BMW announced that they're partnering up and focusing on creating large-scale production of CEVs and hydrogen combustion vehicles. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section.